Alright, fishy folks. For the first time in a long time, there are quite a few empty tanks in the fish room. And simply the reason is I've been selling quite a few fish online, as well as I did sell a lot of fish at auction. I didn't make any money, but I sold a lot. And I'm trying to condense some things for a project coming up in the fish room. And so let me tell you what we have here. And it's an empty 20 high. And this was an angelfish grow out tank. It had what was left of one of the last silver angel batch that I had. I sold those to Fishman, and then I had 5 blue zebra babies that came from this pair, and I sold those at auction. And I don't even know how much they sold for because I wasn't there, but somebody asked to buy them the day after the auction, and I didn't have any to sell. So there was also a few odds and ends, different angel fish in here growing out. I think there was the marble that I sold at auction. I think it sold for $6, which is just, that's actually not a bad price. That's about right now that I'm thinking about it out loud. But anywho, this had the platinum angels. I sold those. I shipped them across country. They did very well in shipping, and the buyer's very, very happy with them. So those are 2 empty tanks. And then what's supposed to be an almost empty tank is 40 breeder that had my neon swordtail colony in it. I sold 5 to Fishman. Oh, there's the pleco. And he he requested a certain amount of females, and I said, sure, no problem. And when I realized if I gave him all those females, actually, if I gave him 2 females, I'd have no females left in the colony. So I just gave him the whole colony. I think he bought 5 fish. I think I gave him 10, maybe. So he made out in this deal, except there's only 2 or 3 females. One of the females might have been a juvenile. Long story short, as I'm trying to get every fish in this tank, I noticed there's a few endlers, which I knew about, really not a big deal. But then last night when I got home from work and I came down here to feed the fish, I noticed all these juvenile neon swordtail babies. So there's quite a few. There's about 10 actually, which I just didn't see before, or I thought they were black bar endler fry, or black bar endlers. It's a pretty nice looking endler actually. Of course it won't focus, but you can see the Japanese filter is doing a fantastic job of sucking up detritus from the bottom of the tank. I may be buying some more of those when I go in a few weeks. I haven't decided. Anywho, the point I'm trying to make is, I don't know what I'm going to do with these babies. I may just have to raise them up and sell them, or I may just sell them as fry. I don't know. If you're interested, shoot me an email, let me know. So yeah, those are the empty tanks. And now you're saying to yourself, what is my project? Well, I've talked about it. I want to get a rack over here. I actually want to change this whole wall. So all 7 of these tanks I have to empty in order to move them. I actually have to empty and disconnect the system because that glass is so thin. If I go to move them with pipes connected, the tanks will just break, I'm sure. So this is weird. Doesn't this tank look wider? This tank, doesn't it look wider than this tank? Look from back here. Doesn't it look wider? Maybe it is. I don't know. Alright, sorry. Something shiny. I had to look at it. So I'm going to be taking these 7 tanks down, or at least temporary moving fish in them. And like the red brick swordtails in this tank, they really should be in a 20 long. I like swordtails in a 20 long. But I want to start new breeding projects with my Apistos, and those like to be in a 20 long. So I don't know what I'm going to do. My plan was to make a rack and put all 10s and 20s on it, against this wall. But if I need 20 longs, I may use this silver rack as 20 longs. Not really sure yet, but the original was I was going to take the tanks off this rack, take the tanks off this rack, build a rack just like the one behind me with cinder blocks and 2x6s or 2x4s, whatever I decide, on this wall, and then move the silver rack here for storage. But my guess is that one unlocks long and I end up putting tanks back here, so we'll see what happens. I may just leave this one here how it is because it's fine. So all right, enough rambling about that. Then I have this 55 in the workbench and the disaster over here. So let me just tell you, I know the fish room is a disaster. It's kind of bugging me. It's so bad right now, but I just haven't had time to clean it. Because, you know, it's going to take a couple hours, and I'd much rather be, like, moving fish and cleaning tanks and stuff. But so we got this 55. I think I paid $40 for it. It was pre-drilled. It came with this really fancy bulkhead. I don't need the fancy bulkhead. In fact, it's so big and ginormous, but I just had to adapt some PVC to it and get it down to size. Then I used PEX with that PVC to PEX shark bite, which is pretty cool, to drain it. And it drains directly into a drain. That's another thing I want. I want to stop draining into the house sump pump, because that just goes out into the backyard, and drain it actually into a drain. So the idea would be plumbing would run this way past the magic curtain into the pump for the washing machine, or I could run it to the sump that's back there, which I would. My plan is to change that. There's a 55-gallon sump back there that I used when I had my system, but I think I'll just put a 15-gallon or something, you know, that I'm not going to use there, because the pump's strong enough to pump that. But I digress. All right, new fish in the fish room. You want an update, I'm sure. American koi guppies, looking great. No fry yet. So really no update other than looking great. Does anybody know why they're called American koi? Is it because they're red, white, and blue, and koi is a fancy name, and we all know how fancy names work? I think that's why, but we'll see. All right, let's go over here to the Jarawee Lazuli. I want to make sure I say it right. I got them last Sunday. Look at the male. He's colored up beautiful. He's terrific. Look at that. That's beautiful. Anywho, I got them last Sunday, and I think Tuesday there was fry in the tank. So there's one. There's about 10. And you might be saying to yourself, Mike, that sponge filter is disgusting. You should clean it. You should be ashamed of yourself. What kind of breeder are you? Did you just see the fry eating off it? There you go. That's what kind of breeder I am. Natural. Let them eat. I mean, it could be clean, sure, but why? Well, a water change keeps the water clean. Something for the fry to eat. Here's one. So that's that. Other new fish. Tanaka maple leafs. Here are the Tanaka maple leafs. There's the male, who's looking spectacular as usual. There's the female, who I don't even think is knocked up yet. I think she's too young. So we're just feeding a good healthy diet. Oh, there's a bristlenose in there too. I gotta try to find all my bristlenose. See if that'll focus. Nope. Focus. Focus. Anyway, I gotta try to find all the bristlenose. I do want to start breeding them. I might be breeding super reds. I have a local-ish breeder, and if things work out there, I will be doing a little tour of their operation, but we'll see. They're in Delaware. Good people. Met them in a couple auctions. All right. Other new fish. New fish. So down here we have the orange flash Apistogramma. There's a female. There's another female. Oh, there's the male behind the filter. Yep. And we have 4 of the gold pearl scale angels, about quarter size. Not sure if I'm going to be breeding angels much longer. You know, if someone were to offer me a good price for the proven pair, the silver and the blue zebra, I would definitely sell them. email me your offer if you're interested. michaelsfishroom@gmail.com. But yeah, that's it for new fish update, I think. Yeah. Let's look at the pond guppies. Oh, there's some healthy poop right there, folks. The yellow colony is still growing. A few babies back there. You can see them eating off the sponge. But this colony, which probably was red, it exploded with fry recently, and that male with the red cobra male, spectacular. But this one is my favorite, with the yellow and red, looks like Two-Face. That fish is actually sold, so if you're interested, too bad. But that's what happens when you put ponds outside and guppies. When you put guppies outside in ponds. So you can see how many fry are in there. They were all born in the tank, actually, shortly after I brought them inside. So yeah, I know I need to clean the bottom. Just lazy. Alright guys, I think that's it for the new fish and the updates. Yeah. So here are the pink panda platies. You can see there's a gajillion fry. Quite happy with the fry output now. I'll be feeding this tank heavy, and actually probably making an extra. Oh, I think it does have two water change waterings going on, so double what the other tank next to it gets. But yeah, that's it for the update today. Hope everyone had a great water change Wednesday. Shoot me an email at michaelsfishroom@gmail.com if you would like to purchase some fish. And if you have any questions, do the same. I've been answering a lot of questions, and I kind of like, answering the questions, especially if I can actually help. So, hope everyone has a great day. Stay tuned for some bloopers. Alright, fishy folks, for the first time in as long as I can remember, there are multiple empty tanks in the fish room. And that's because I've been selling a lot of fish online and sort of trying to condense some things for a project. Let's look at the empty tanks. So this tank was an angel grow out tank. I sold all the silvers that I had bred and all the blue angels. Holy Jesus. Alright, fishy folks, for the first time in a long time, there are multiple empty tanks in the fish room. The reason for that is quite simple. I've been selling quite a few fish online, and I had 2 auctions that I lost my shirt at. But the long and the short of it is, I'm trying to condense some things for a project coming up. So let's look at the empty tanks. This is a 20 high. That was an angelfish grow out tank. I had silvers in here and blue zebra babies, juveniles in here, and some odd. Alright, fishy folks, for the first time in a very long time, there are a few empty tanks in the fish room. That was nice.